honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to you brothers out there teaching this truth with sincerity. And to you sisters and to you ribs out there learning in silence and staying in order. Right, so I got this news clip about, well, let's just go into it. It says here, top Russian official quoted the Book of Revelations to describe what will soon happen to America, aka Babylon. Right, the city that everybody loves, man, the golden city. You know, it says here, the Russians continue to threaten U.S. with nuclear annihilation. Why are so few people in the Western world alarmed by this? I think it is because our leaders are assuring everyone that the Russians are all talk and that the odds of a nuclear war actually happening are extremely low. Meanwhile, both sides just continue to take steps to escalate the war in Ukraine. We are engaged in an extreme bizarre game of nuclear chicken, and both sides truly believe that the other side will blink first. And so we continue to creep closer and closer to a cataclysmic nuclear conflict. And once the missiles start flying, there will be no turning back. I simply do not understand why our leaders are not taking Russian serious. Slovakia. I simply do not understand why our leaders are not taking Russian threats more seriously, right? Because, you know, in the book of Matthew, it talks about how Yahweh Shai said that he shall come as a thief in the night. So people are going to be, you know, asleep, man. They're going to be sleeping, and, you know, like in the days of Noah, it's going to be marriage and giving out to marriages. People just, you know, partying, you know, living the life of myrrh, right? This has to happen. This is why the spirit of slumber is on America. You know, they feel like they can't be touched. You know, but the ones in the know, the Israelites in the know, man, you know, they disconnected from the matrix, man. They disassociated. They are separate, right? Don't fall asleep. Don't go back, man. Don't go back into the hunter's hands, which is Esau, the white man. You know, don't go back into his system. This is Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 4. Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids. Verse 5. Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as the bird from the hand of the fowler. Right? Come out of her, man. Ain't nothing good for you here in Babylon. And I mean, if you choose to be asleep, then, you know, that's on you, man. You weren't made to be woken up. But yeah, man, slumber has to happen, right? It says, the Russians warned that they would take military actions in Ukraine if an agreement to avoid war could not be reached, and that is precisely what happened. And now the Russians are repeatedly threatening the U.S. with nuclear war. In fact, Dmitry Medvedev, I don't know how to say that, just warned that if the U.S. does not back down, our quote-unquote land will be on fire and the concrete will melt. Right? They're quoting Revelations. It says, if the Western continues its quote-unquote unrestrained pumping of the Kiev regime with the most dangerous types of weapons, right? So they're accusing the United States, aka Babylon, of bringing guns to the Ukraine people to fight against the Russians. And they're saying basically you're killing our soldiers, you know, by supplying these people to defend themselves. You know, but it's all Yahweh Shem Yahushai's war games, as they call them. He's the one playing the chess moves, man. You know, putting the hooks on these nations to be this way. So it all has to happen. Right? It says, if the Western continues its unrestrained pumping of the Kiev regime with the most dangerous types of weapons, Russia's military campaign will move to the next level, where visible boundaries and potential predictability of actions by the parties to the conflict will be erased, and the conflicts will take on a life of its own, as wars also do, Medvedev argued, quote unquote, and then the Western nations will not be able to sit in their clean homes laughing at how they carefully weakened Russia by proxy. Everything will be on fire around them. So they're saying that if you think that by you trying to weaken us, going into war with this, while you're sitting and filling your belly up, you know, we're gonna send fire your way. So before they basically sending a warning out saying that before we bankrupt, we're gonna burn you, right? While you're in your table eating, filling your belly, right? Paraphrasing the scripture. So this is all prophecy, man. It says everything will be on fire around them. Their people will harvest their grief in full. The land will be on fire and the concrete will melt, Medvedev wrote before citing a Bible verse from Revelation 9:18. In case you're wondering what this is, Revelation 18 says, a third of mankind was killed by these three plagues, by the fire, by the smoke, and by the brimstone which came out of their mouth. Medvedev also addressed the fact that U.S. politicians don't seem to be taking Russian threats very seriously. Quote unquote, yet still the narrow-minded politicians on the stupid think tanks, thoughtfully twirling a glass of wine in their hand, talk about how they can deal with us without entering into a direct war. Dull idiots with a classical education, Medvedev wrote. Right? Because they feel like they can't be touched, man. Babylon, man, proud as hell. It's Isaiah 47, verse 11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Right? They're going to be asleep. They're not going to know. And everybody's going to be crying like, man, can't believe this happened. You know, Babylon was the shit. I wanted to move there. I wanted to get a green card. Right? But you're going to see that smoke, man. And you're going to know in that day, Yahweh Shem Yahushai did it. Revelation chapter 18 verse 7, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, right? Saying that, twirling that cup, you know, that wine, saying that we ain't not gonna be touched, right? So much torment and sorrow give her, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and I shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, who judgeth her. Right? And that's what's coming to this place, man. You've been warned many times. You've been told. You got prophets all over the streets of Babylon you know, teaching the downfall. You know, you can't say you never heard it. It's time, you know, it's time to burn this place up, man. And the saints wait patiently. And with that, I'm gonna say shalom.